back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go. All right, welcome to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. What's up, Cornell? How you doing?
Trying not to cough. There we go. Got it. I'm out. I was like, oh no.
I really wanted to open the show with a big burp, but it just seems like a real athlete thing to do.
So funny you say that. My wife just self-diagnosed herself with something. She has never burped in her entire life.
Shut the front door.
So there's some thing that it can be fixed.
Okay.
With Botox or a very minor surgery.
Okay.
But the Botox version, it could come back, and she has never burped in her whole life. Wow. It comes out. She'll kill me, but it comes out the other side. It's got to come out somewhere. But yeah, yesterday we were like watching a movie or something after we went to the movies, and she was on Facebook, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is what I have. And I was like, you've never burped? And she's like, no. And it's not an easy thing for her to throw up either. Like,
wow.
We've been married over 20 years, and she has thrown up like twice, and it was like the end of the world for her. And I'm just like, I was pulling you yesterday. I ate too much food and it was not settling in my stomach. And I was like, I don't feel good. I might throw up. Got out of the car, walked over to a tree, puked, jumped back on. I threw up. I feel great.
Dude. Okay. So I burp like normal, like, I burp like anybody else, but, throwing up, I might have some similarities in that, because when I do throw up, which is not often, I mean, it's probably been about 5 years since I've thrown up, and I am so violent. Like my eyes will get bloodshot. Like my face will just be like beet red. And it's like our neighbors can hear me. I'm like, and so I don't throw up that often. I'd probably scare my family if I did. But
I don't throw up often, but I can do it almost on cue. Like,
wow.
I used to do it. Not that I would. So, you know how everyone is right after they turn 21.
Oh, yeah.
If they haven't drank before they were 21, but that was me.
Yep.
I got hungover once, and I was like, oh, I never want to feel that again. So even if I drank enough to just have a headache the next morning, like I would generally go and just go puke. And then I was at the desert once, and one of my buddies who was like 18, he was getting super peer pressured into chugging this Jack Daniels, and I was like, and he'd never drank before, so I just walked up and grabbed the big giant bottle and just started chugging it, and everyone was like cheering, and then I like walked away, and then I just like walked over to my truck and just threw it all up, because I'm like, nobody wants that.
There's definitely times I wish I could do that, and I mean, I guarantee if I stick my fingers down my throat, I'll probably make myself throw up. So I've just never done that. And boy, I think it's a good thing to have.
Yeah, honestly. So yesterday I puked. Probably haven't thrown up in 3 or 4 years. So I'm not doing that to lose weight. So don't worry, anybody.
Looking all skinny over here. We're talking about throwing up. Not funny. Not funny. Okay. So I've heard a little bit about it, and I want to hear more about it, but dude, pretty cool. I'm going to say seminar this weekend you went to. Was that what it was?
Yes. So there was supposed to be he said it was put on by Power Monkey. I don't know her last name, but Margot, her Instagram's 321go. She was there as well, and I guess they normally do Olympic lifting and gymnastics, but they had a thing set for this weekend at another gym, and they kind of screwed them, and they last set like 8 days ago texted us or reached out to us to see if we could have a thing there, and we're like, we don't know how many people we can have, but we'll do it. No problem.
Yeah, no kidding.
So between Friday, they asked me how much I thought it was supposed to be. It seemed a little bit high. I kind of put in my 2 cents. They did the number that I recommended. I didn't know it was 3 days. And I was like, oh, never mind. That original price was totally fine. So Friday, we end up not doing too much. He came to the gym, but half the gym was going to a baseball game. So he's like, we basically said, like, you don't have to come. He's like, I'll just come. He's like, there's not going to be any coaches there. And he's like, I'll just come and coach. And I wasn't going to the game. So I'm like, I'll just hang out. So
yeah, no kidding.
Pretty much just hung out with him and Margot and the half dozen people who were at the gym. And that was pretty cool because actually there was probably about 10 people there. Wes came up to each person and talked to them for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Holy
got to
crap.
know them, got to know, he remembered who they were. He knew how long they'd been lifting, like everything. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, this just made these people's days. And then the next day there was probably another like 8 to 10 people. We didn't have the same people every day. Cause 3 days last minute, it's not an easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they also weren't like super picky about like, oh, did they sign up and did they sign? Like the Friday thing was anyone could be there. And then cool. Sunday was like half the people were there from the day before and then a couple other people. So
nice.
But I've done seminars with my old coach, what I thought were seminars. Now I know what I did before was not a seminar. That was a hype session of just showing up and like, don't get me wrong. It was fun back then.
Yeah.
We had a great time. We did a lot of stuff. People hit some big lifts, but this was a class. This was a course you took. We learned so much. I have changed. I'm probably changing a lot of my technique I'm not saying everything's going to stick, but I'm trying things now that I've never even known that I was supposed to try. Oh. And I was like, it was just so good and just completely breaking down. It's not having like some stuff was dumbed down. Like when someone says like whole foot, it's like, well, what does that mean? And like, I had an idea what that meant to me and other people had ideas what that meant to them, but he just broke it down exactly where the foot pressure needed to be. And then he said, why? And it's the front of your heel lines up with the bar, which lines up with your shoulder, like all these different points. And then he was showing what would happen if you were too much in front or too much in back. And just the way that you extend at the fully extended position, like the third pole, has completely changed on how I'm doing lifts now. And all of a sudden I'm landing super solid on these lifts. So,
dude. And, like to me, that's priceless. I'll pay whatever. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And honestly, I would, man, how cool would that be to be at that? That's really cool. I think when you have someone of his caliber, Wes's caliber, and, you know, I guess there probably would be some people that would be a little starstruck around him, maybe. You know, so he's a two-time Olympian? Two-time Olympian. The dude is, every time I've ever heard him on a podcast, I've never met him. So I'll say that right away. Every time I've ever heard him.
He'll be at Worlds, and there's a chance he may be helping in my session.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. So. Well, that's cool. Maybe I'll get that chance. But he just seems to me like he's the looked up to athlete. He's that person. He's humble. He, from what you just said, he goes up to people and talks to them and treats them like humans. He doesn't feel that he's bigger than. You don't see him online giving out a bunch of like, well, this is how you should be doing it, or this is my opinion type thing. And there's something respectable about that. I like that.
I feel like he has officially retired, and he explained to me why. And I don't know if I want to get into that too much right now. But to me, he's the last 6 years, he's been weightlifting's Captain America. Like
Yeah. That's
he's
great.
he's not a douchebag. He's not egotistical. He's just this big, strong, I don't want to say dumb guy, but like he's the big, strong, dumb guy who's just super nice and really actually knowledgeable and all this kind of stuff. Like, he's just a total athlete, and seeing how he moves in person is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him power snatch 135 with next to no warm up. I mean, he warmed up, and then power clean and push jerk 172 like it was a joke.
Wow. I think I saw some of his videos online of him doing that, but
yeah. And then don't get me wrong, the lady Margot, she's 7-time CrossFit Games athlete.
Oh,
like
wow.
She's legit. We went into breakout sessions for mobility, and like I haven't been able to really lift this last week because of the tragedy of that I put my body through the weekend before and going heavier than I should have.
Yeah.
And I feel 100% now. I'm like, everything felt heavy today. I didn't clean jerk more than 120, but I also did it with complete different technique. And I'm going to just start pushing it and seeing what we can do with this newer technique tricks. So,
well, that's really cool. And man, if he even is thinking, or if he's listening to this, or Margot's listening to this, come to Portland. No, I need to find out where it's at next. I mean, I guess if I would have planned better or had the opportunity, I would have flown down there for that. Because
we had 8 days.
I know.
And realistically, people had like 6 days.
Yeah. I think it was posted just a couple days ago when I saw it, and I'm not even on Instagram that much, to the point where there was some team practice set up that I didn't see until after the team practice happened, because it's all through Instagram, and I'm just like, I missed it, but well, that's really cool, dude. I'm super happy that you got to do that. What a lifetime thing, to just hear him talk and listen to the way he breaks things down, from someone who has a very, very hard proven path of success.
Yeah.
That right there is worth every freaking penny. So let me ask you this and then we'll move on. But what's the single one thing that you can pull away from it that you were like, wow?
My power position's not where it's supposed to be. I'll tell you that. That felt real weird. And then when he explained how it's supposed to be, and it all freaking makes sense, and then you start hitting these different positions, and all of a sudden the technique things that I've had issues with for years, like my entire career, are gone. And I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I've got straight arms in my lifts. All of a sudden I'm not looping the bar and like in the clean. I'm like, what's freaking going on?
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff. One part that I also really did enjoy is the way I teach the jerk is the way I was taught it at Cal Strength.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 4 or 5 people to gym that I'm just constantly like, this is how you need to do it. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. And I'm like, well, this is how they're on a different team, but they're still like, I still coach them. And like, well, my coach doesn't say anything different. I'm like, because they honestly don't know any better. I go, this is how you need to do it. And then when he did it exactly how I have been teaching these people, there was a whole lot of like, eye looks at me going like, I know. Okay, I get it now.
It's okay. I understand. Yeah, no, that's a good a moment of validation right there. And it's just nice to have. I like that. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you got to experience that. Maybe one day I will too. But I kind of want to talk a little bit about competitive nature, and the reason why I want to talk about that. Somebody posted something. I was just talking about not being on Instagram, but somebody posted something on Instagram that I saw, and they were talking about how this day and age, like people are just going to specifically to weightlifting meets and saying, well, I gave it my best, or dang, I'm not going to medal. I'm just going for the experience. And I know we kind of touched on this in multiple different ways, but the claim was that competitive nature is going away, which is going to ruin the sport. Which I don't think that's actually happening. I do think there is a bit of a shift in mentality, but the competitive nature in weightlifting to me is a lot different, and it's silent. It's more. It's not like when I think of competitive nature, I think of like head to head, like maybe two football teams, or maybe you're playing a tennis match with somebody and you're talking shit to them and you're out there and you're staring them down. I personally, and I'm kind of posing this to you because you have probably been in these situations, but I personally have not been in a head to head real match against somebody that I've felt that there was a competitive aspect to. Now, I want you to talk about that. Have you experienced that when in any of your meets and when you're going? And I know we talk about like how playing the cards right and the strategies there and all that stuff. And I just had an experience at Masters Nationals. It was kind of like that, but I still didn't ignite that competitive, like, holy shit, here we go feeling.
I think I'm a little bit in that right now with one of the main competitors. We're not definitely not enemies at all. Yeah. And we've messaged back and forth, and it's honestly going to be, basically the way that we've said it is this is going to be fun. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to win. He doesn't know if he's going to win. We both don't know what the other one is not posting.
I love that.
So I'm just like, I got to keep my head down. And I got to keep doing stuff. And that's why this last week has been a little bit rough because I haven't been able to do much because I just overdid it. Mm-hmm. But I'll be this next week will be pretty interesting because I'm going to be in Tennessee for two training days.
Okay.
So I'll pretty much have Monday and that'll be it this week here. And then I'll be going out to Tennessee and I'll be training in a complete different place, complete different temperature, squeezing it in somehow, but I'm going to make sure that I make it happen.
Don't you think that's probably good? I mean, training in adversity seems to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining about it.
No, I don't think you are. I'm just, putting it out there.
It's just one of those like, okay, let's see how it goes. But oftentimes there's a good chance I'm going to be going up to my buddy's gym that's about an hour north of where I am the weekend before, like the Saturday before we go to Worlds, just to have something a little bit different and different environment and all that fun stuff too.
I like that.
But I was on another podcast a long time ago for a couple of years, and one of the things that I brought up that has to do with this competitive nature is I posed the question: if you have qualified for, let's say, AO finals more than once, and you're not an A session, and you're absolutely not a podium finisher, how many years should you go before it's like you're just good enough to qualify, but you're the beginning of the competition? Ooh. And I know a ton of people, and I put it on Instagram as well. And I said, do you really need to go the 9th time? And a lot of people were like, yeah, you should go. If you qualify, you should go. And I'm like, why? You're not going to win. Like it's one thing to qualify and get to go for the first time.
Yep.
That I think is 100% valid. Like, you worked really hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, maybe if it wasn't second time in a row, or maybe you did better and you're still stoked on it. But like 7th, 8th time, I knew people like that, and they never got out of like the first session. Whether it was a F, D, B, not A, they never got out of that session, and they were always like just barely squeaking by and qualifying. And I have qualified a handful of times for both AO finals and nationals, and people are like, why aren't you going to go? I'm like, I'm not going to be competing against anybody. Yeah. That's outside of what my competition is. I'm a masters lifter, and I'm not trying to to hang with these people that I know that I'm not going to be able to train the way that I want to, and I'm not going to be able to put my body through what I know it would need to put through to come in at like 15th place. So maybe it's bad on me. Maybe it's smart on me. I don't know.
Well, I think that what I'm hearing you say is that like the the road leading up to a qualifying for AO finals is hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your psyche. It's hard on your family. It's hard on your life, period. And is that worth going to if you're not going to be competitive and have the edge to medal, podium, whatever? I agree with you on that. I think I would probably give myself 3 times.
Okay.
I would say if on the second time I didn't improve from the last one, maybe not even the third time. But
Sure.
To me, I'm like, if I'm going to improve, if I'm showing improvement, and I'm moving up in the sessions, or I'm, aging up into a different session or whatever, then yeah, I might go again. But if I'm staying in that F session, first and foremost, the money investment is not worth it. Secondly, I don't want to put my family through that. Like, it's already like, this as well as I do. But in my house, like, we are all very sick about talking about dad's getting ready for this meet. So after Worlds, we're going to be very happy. And when I say we, I mean my family is going to be very happy about not hearing about a gosh darn meet. But that tells you the level of intensity that you have to put into something. So 100% agree with you. I'm not going 9 times and putting my shit through that every single time for 9 years in a row. I won't be married, and my kids will probably like disown me. I'd probably like get fired from my job. Like, it's just that's the competitive nature that I have. Like, and you have that as well. And I think a lot of people listening probably have it. I would hope so. But like, it's that intense drive to prepare, to be there, to do well, to medal, to podium, to get better. If you're not having any of that, you shouldn't do it. You're absolutely right. Part of that's USAW's problem because they are making the qualifying totals too easy. We shouldn't have an F session.
Also, we shouldn't have masters at a senior meet, and we shouldn't have youth at a senior meet.
Yes.
And we should not have juniors at a senior meet.
Agreed. What are we doing here?
Yeah. And I will say that I feel that being in the going to actual Masters Nationals or Masters Pan Ams, that's basically a new competition every 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit different. Yeah. So let's say like my first one was 2017, I think 17 or 18. I think 17. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I went. I got 4th place. I was really bummed. The next year, I didn't go. The following year, I improved a lot. I thought I was going to win. I ended up getting 2nd place. That really that lights a fire under your butt.
Yeah.
The next year, COVID. End up doing it online. I won that one. I was like, cool. I won it. I don't need more.
Yeah.
I accomplished what I needed to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Same with, I never went to Pan Ams before, but I signed up for it because I found out it was going to be online. And that was like one of those, all right, I could check it off my box. And it's basically just the entry costs. It's basically a free thing.
Yeah.
I got to win that. Yeah. I won Worlds. I said, and I knew that I didn't need any more. I was like, I'm happy with that. The only reason I'm doing this one is because it's 4 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, it's 4 hours away. You have people there that you're doing it with, like, you have friends and all that stuff, but also
you're going to be there anyway.
Yeah. You're going to be there anyways. Exactly. But there's also a bigger challenge that you have accomplished in the midst of all this. And that's dropping down to a goddamn 94 kilo weightlifter. So what you're about to do is to show people that You don't have to cut, and you can cut, and you can still be successful and lift the weights that you can lift. And that's a big accomplishment. And I think that's worth it because you're going to go out there and kick some butt. Sorry, I'm trying not to curse here. But one thing I wanted to say about the whole, like that question that you posed of the 9 times and all that stuff, you should have people around you that can tell you the truth. And one of those people should be your gosh darn coach.
Yeah.
You need perspective. Lifters, I personally need perspective. I need to understand when I'm doing something wrong and when I'm not, I shouldn't be doing something. It's like, hey, Matt, this is your 9th time going to AO finals in F sessions. Why don't we focus on something else? Why don't we go just, let's go to the WSO. Let's put this aside and work maybe a meet a little bit lower. Let's go to a local meet and have a goal of podium. Let's start there. And then maybe down the road, 10 more years, if you're still lifting, like you can try it again. But like, hey, let's not hang our hat because we qualified for something. So like having somebody in your life that will just tell you the truth, regardless of how hard it is it really is what needs to happen. Because as weightlifters, if we're just flailing, spending money, and we got money and no families, and we're qualifying for AO finals every year, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I'm reminded of a coach that I talked to at AO2 in Pleasanton a couple years ago, and his rule is: you qualify, I'll go. I'm not going again until you're in A session.
Oh, I like that.
And I felt that was like very appropriate. It was like, cool, you qualified. I will go there. We'll do the experience. I'm not going again. I'm not saying I'm not going to go, but I'm not going to go coach you again until your A session. So you better work your tail off to get an A session, because I don't want to be coaching. And also, like the series meets, the entry totals are so low that anyone can go, and like those are like the F sessions that I'm kind of talking about. AO finals and nationals, like there's not that many people going to those that are in the F sessions. I don't know if they have those. Well, they do now with all the masters and stuff, but
yeah. Take them out, make it a real championship. And that's like, all these national meets, they have the word championship afterwards. And I like it, but let's break it down to just 3 sessions, A, B, and C.
What if they did A and B session, 15 people per session, top 30 make it per class? That's it.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't make the money.
Well, that's true. Well, do it small. Do it in Colorado. Do it where they don't have to have the whole thing. It doesn't have to be this big thing. Also, if there's, I don't know, there are 7 weight classes. Yeah. So 14, you could run that in a 2-day thing.
Yeah. Easily.
Maybe couple. It's doable to do it a lot cheaper.
Well, something comes to mind. And when I said they were not going to make the money, and listen, I'm not here to tell USAW how to run a business, but if it were me, I would take the 3 series meets leading up to it, and I would increase the price there, maybe throw in another session, make my money there, and then use finals as almost like you're giving back to the community. Get it on a live stream. Shoot. Charge us like $10 to watch the live stream, whatever. But make sure that it's an A session only.
Yeah.
A session, men, women, big lifts, big competition, big weights, and let's have fun. Get it hyped, have sponsors, whatever. But take finals and give back to the weightlifting community. Let us see these big lifts. Let us watch them. We don't have to participate. And it's like, I mean, you know me. Anytime I can stream, anytime you're lifting, anytime any of my friends are lifting, we're streaming it at the house, and we treat it like it's like some major thing, when it's most likely just a local meet. But at the same point, Where, me and my family are in there like yelling at the TV and like having fun. And that is the sport. When the Olympics comes on, what do? We all watch it and talk about it. And it's just something that, like, man, I think a little goes a long way with that.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that for the series. That was just for like the top.
Yeah.
Like maybe even just nationals. Be like, nationals is only
that's what I'm
20 people per session. And like an A and a B, and it's 10 people each.
Right.
So they go quick, hour and a half, and each session's done. I don't know, I think it would be so much better.
Yeah, that would be really cool to watch, and you'd start to get like, I mean, this might be a stretch, but like getting like household names and understanding who's at the top, and then guess what? You start having more people follow like who's going to make the national teams and all that. Because right now, like, I don't know, where do you even find that information out? I'm pretty connected with the community, and where do you find it out? You have to go to USAW and you got to look at there, or, it's like, make it a little bit more readily accessible. That facility they have in Colorado, like, I've been kind of watching the junior camp happen, because a lot of those juniors are doing like a day in the life of that. That's freaking cool. Why don't they use that for competitions? I don't understand. Like, it's a free venue. That's where all of them should be. How much more money you'd make. I don't know.
But imagine if there was like a leaderboard that you could be tracking.
Exactly.
And it would be like, these are our top 10. These are the ones who are going to nationals right now. And then have more local meets that people can go do, and maybe make money by collecting money, a bigger fee from the local meet, like an extra $5. Because I don't know how much it is now, but it used to be $75 to do a meet. Yeah. So if it was $75 plus $5 per person who signed up, I don't know. To me, it seems like a better option.
Man, we should just go open our own federation. Not happening. but like, yeah, dude, make your money where it counts, and then give back, invest back into USAW. And I think that if they ever heard this, or even one person listened, like, it might spark something. But dang, man, like, I firmly believe, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a business owner. I'm not making millions of dollars a year as a business owner. I do run business every single day in my career, but at the same point, like, to me, I'm like, you got to invest in your company, because that's what's going to get the most return. I don't know if we're talking in a sense of money, but if we're to go back to the athletes, like, look what you're doing to those athletes. You're giving them a self-confidence. You're giving them a competitive arena to sit there and go, oh, well, shit, I just dropped down to 7. I need to get back up. I know they do that in the IWF as we move into the Olympics. I realize that, but why don't we do that in the country?
Yeah, like, we can have our own Olympics. I mean, it doesn't have to be the Olympics. We can have our own. That's what
nationals.
That's what nationals should be.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it mimic it? It's like in football, right? The NFL changes all these rules. College doesn't change the rules with them. Why wouldn't they change the rules with them? Like, it just makes sense to me. So, like, if the world is doing this thing, why wouldn't USAW mimic what the world is doing to create that competitive nature? Yeah. Then we wouldn't have people posting about how we'd have no competitive nature and are always trying to just do a good job.
Yeah. No, I mean, back to that, like, there's a whole lot of people I don't like to help lift anymore, because I can tell that they don't have the competitive nature to want to push.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's one of the guys that at the gym right now that I know he's very frustrated because he's not hitting the lifts that he thinks he should be hitting right now.
Join the club.
He's also like constantly missing stuff. He's doing his own specialized program that he really. I feel like he's putting himself on an island where he think like he's the king of his island. And I'm like, yeah, you're the king of the island because there's no one else there.
Right.
But then when he comes and lifts on like group bars, it's always this frustration and all of these problems. And then the other day he posted that we're like 65 days away from Mammoth opening for snowboarding. And I'm like, that's the last thing you should be thinking about if your goal is to qualify for one of these big meets. And last year he got hurt snowboarding that kind of snowballed into everything that's going on right now. So he's still dealing with the aftermath of that. And like, I think what we were saying earlier, I didn't say it then, but I didn't want to interrupt, but it's like you and I, we don't half-ass anything. We whole-ass what we do. Yeah. And we're going to put everything into making it happen. We're going to push really hard for a short amount of time, and we're going to do it right. And that's what I think it takes. And it doesn't mean you have to do that the whole time. That's why there's seasons. That's why you have a competitive season and then you take some time off and you don't just get right back into it. One of the things that I used to hate when we were on this old team is the day the Arnold was done, they're like 364 more days till next year's Arnold. It's like, no. You guys can, so you can go back to the F session.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just like, I like how you said that. First of all, I like how you said the whole ass. That's great. But one thing I want to point out about what you just said, make sure people understand, is that like you can lift any amount of kilos as long as you are putting in the effort, putting in the whole ass, basically. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about showing up whenever. It's about showing up every time, even though it's hard, even though your lifts suck, even though you're dropping weight. Like, stop worrying about the outside shit. If you're qualifying for something, go qualify for it. Like, drop it, dude. Like, I learned that the hard way because I was stubborn at one point in this whole weightlifting thing. And I got hurt. And then next thing you know, well, perception is reality. And the second you get hurt and can't do it, you're pretty pissed off, and you only have one person to be pissed off at, and that's that person in the mirror, you know? And I've been there, and I can speak from experience. It's not fun. A year of squatting was not fun. Sucked. But it happened, and I learned a lesson. I want to point out something here. Damon says they should, here, I'll put this on the screen. They should have a consolation event I can read for people that are in the A and B sessions so it doesn't clog up big meets. I like that. I mean, that's just kind of breaking it off, right?
Yeah, well, I think they kind of do that at the Arnold.
Oh, they do, don't they?
Again, I would say this on our old team and just piss everyone off because I was the realist here. I said, you guys aren't competing at the Arnold. You're competing at AO1.
AO1.
The Rogue stage is the Arnold.
Yeah.
The Rogue stage was taking place at the Arnold. Everything else was happening in some barn or something.
Yeah.
I was like, the Arnold it was there. I think that they've now moved it back, but the Rogue stage is the Arnold. AO1 is everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're right, because if you're not on the Arnold stage, this is also coming from some nerdy. I've never gone to the Arnold. It's one meet that I just have. I'm sorry, one of two meets that I've never competed at. The other one is our local WSO. That's for other reasons, and I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, dude. If you're at the Arnold, you're competing on the actual Arnold stage. Otherwise, it is what is it? It's a Virus Series 1 now?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always said I'll never go to the Arnold, but now that I'm going to be living, I think 6-hour drive away, I'll go once and then I don't have to go again.
Yeah. I think I'd like to go for the spectacle and look at and watch and all the sports that are going on. And that's really what excites me about that. Because I think if I was competing, I wouldn't be doing all that. But
sure.
Anyways, Dude, it's been a great show. We're about 40 minutes, but I think that to wrap this up, it's just like, if you're gonna do something, for me, it's about quality over quantity. We don't need to go to a meet 9 times if we're just going to go and get our, necklace lanyard thing.
Yeah.
Like, start, if you're doing this and you're in a rut, freaking go to a local meet. Set a goal for like 4 local meets in a year, and then work your way back up. Like, start small. We don't need to jump to the AO series. Like, it just doesn't even happen. So I guess that's all I have to say about that.
No, I like that. What's your training? Have you seen the next week's programming yet, or how's it? Is it transitioning at all, or how's that looking?
Yeah, so it transitioned. We are now moving into heavy singles. And it's the way Joe programs is usually like Monday is a snatch and squat day. And then Thursday is my big clean and jerk and squat day. But now every day is a snatch, clean and jerk and squat day. So it's go time. And when he does this, I know that it's like, okay, here we go. Now it's time to not officially, but really break it down. And then those last like 2 weeks, taper off and get ready for the show.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Great. Yeah. I don't have a clue what my program looks at because it's been hard just to walk around for the last week.
Yeah, I've been there. I know.
And I know that I done screwed up, but I mean, last weekend was one of those, like, we just need to go. We just need to do it. And I'll probably regret it. And if I don't win, I might look back and be like, it was that weekend, I bet. Yeah, probably not. But
I think you're too much of a competitor to not do well. I got to be honest with you. Like, you're going to go out there. You've done this. You know what to expect. You're going to do it. And I firmly believe in muscle memory. Like, it's just it'll happen.
Yeah, no, but I did talk to, I think I was talking to, actually, it was either Wes or Josh this weekend.
Yeah.
Coach Josh, not Josh, Texas Josh.
Okay.
And I just said that, like, well, I'm done with I did the 5s. I took a week off. I did the 3s. I didn't get through the last week because this whole thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just going to transition into squatting probably roughly 180 every day that I lift, and just try to move it as fast as I can.
Yep.
So I'm not doing it every single day, but I'm going to work up in appropriate jumps and hit 180 and just try to move it as fast as I can. I think it was Wes, because he said that he talked to Tarakti, I think in 2000, leading up to the 2016 Olympics. Tarakti told him that he never squatted more than 250. But he said, I would move it for reps. I would move it fast. I would move it very well. But he was probably capable of mid 300s.
Wow.
And just, you can put a 300 kilo squat into a 250 squat.
Yeah.
Like, you can move it
with
that
the intensity, how fast you move up. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
cool,
one of the things,
man.
One of the cues I like to yell out all the time is like, hey, make it look easy. Like, even if it's going to feel heavy, don't let anyone else know it's heavy. Just move it like it's easy. I
like that. Dude, I mean, how just to be able to say, yeah, back in 2016, I was talking to Tarakti, like, holy crap, just to drop that in the conversation. But hey, that's what it's all about. And I like that because, one thing that I've always done with my squats, and I don't know if it's right, is I try to be as controlled and slow going down and then just like explode up. And that I learned that from an old football coach. And that's pretty much what you're saying right there. So, does it always happen? No, but hey, you know what? People start yelling in your squats. I find for me, when I'm like screaming, like, even because I'm in my garage, mind you, I'm screaming like loud. I'm getting through it and it's helping me. I'm a little lightheaded afterwards, but find your way and just don't forget about your squats.
Your family's like, is he squatting or vomiting?
Yeah, I know exactly. It's funny. They know what's going on based off my scream. So that tells you the intensity level that I freaking put myself through. And it's just what it is, people. And, I'm not even like that. I'm a good lifter and I'm getting better every year. So let's just leave it at that. So,
Yeah.
Cornell, thank you. I hope you're feeling better. This is a great conversation. Like always, everybody, thank you for listening. And adios.
Bye.